Alright, so I've got the 25-inch, the Therma-a-Rest, I think it's a Trekker Pro Lounge. And one of the big things that I had a hard time with, and looked and seems like everyone has a hard time with, is removing the little stays that are in the back, that are back here, right, that keep the chair rigid when you're sitting in it. And you know, the big thing is you're supposed to be able to flatten this thing out and roll it up with the pad still in it, rather than having to take it out and put it back in every time like with the chair. Anyway, just figured out how, and can't believe there's not a video on it, so I thought I would make one. So I'm going to unclip this, and go ahead and flip it over. So, unless I missed it, the documentation is pretty well completely silent on how you're even supposed to get them out and where, and it's not necessarily really obvious. Actually, it's easier to see, I guess, on this side from here. But if you look at it, that's the center. They're kind of leather reinforced there. And if you follow it up to the other end and look at the seam, you'll see there's a small gap right here where the seam isn't sewn. Actually, it's easier. You know what? It's going to be hard to do this shooting this with an iPhone. There's a gap right there. See that open up? See the rod that's inside there? So to take that out, let's figure out how to do this. Pop it up and do it here. Okay. Let me see. Alright. So forgive me for not editing this, but to get this out with this rod like it is, I believe that's in the shot. So the easiest way I've found to do it is simply put your thumb against the end of the rod here, this end, and push hard toward the other end, and you'll see that gap open, the little pocket. And you have to do it maybe a couple times sometimes, and if you get it far enough down, just pushing it like that, and I'm pulling up on the material with the other hand, if you get it far enough up doing that, it's a lot easier to do when you're not trying to do it vertical to keep it in the camera here. Get it compressed down enough, if you just pull back on this, the end of it will pop out. And then you can just simply take the rod and slide it out. And there's the rod right. So doing that actually gets a little bit easier. Like I said, when you lay it flat and you can kind of put your weight over it instead of trying to do it in front of a camera like this, these come out pretty easy. And then there's actually a pocket down at the base of the chair. If you go to the other end, there's just a pocket sewn across the very end of the chair here that you can stick these in, and they drop down in there so they stay stored down inside there, so that you can actually roll the whole thing up with the pad still in it, obviously after deflating it. Putting them back in actually is the hardest part for me, to be honest. I can get them out fairly easy. Getting them back in, and good Lord, I'm dragging all my kids' mess down the table here. Getting them back in is actually a bit harder. See if I can get this set back up here. Sorry, I'm just shooting this from my iPhone. It's the only camera I have handy at the moment. Alright, so getting this back in, getting it in there is no problem. I don't know if you can see that right there, but you can just easily kind of open up the hole with a rod and twist it a little bit. And again, with this laying flat on the table, it goes right in much easier than it does the way I'm trying to do it here standing up. The problem is, as it reaches the end and seats, you've got a similar issue. The rod is a little bit too long. I heard someone say they cut a little bit off these rods, and I'm honestly thinking about trying that myself. Cut a small amount off. But again, same kind of thing. I'm going to hold the material with this hand and just push as hard as I can with this one until I get it down in there far enough, hopefully. And if it hurts your thumb, put the webbing over the end of it and use that to push with. Push down as hard as you can, and you'll get it far enough that it pops inside the hole. And now it's back rigid and will stay. So anyway, sorry for the badly made video, but again, after a bunch of looking, I couldn't find out how to do it. Thought I would share with everyone how I managed to figure it out. If anybody's got a better way, please throw it in the comments and let me know, or throw your own video up. Thanks. Bye.